Some social media questions for you from the fans. Ryan Clark on Facebook, he asks, is there a time you thought you mistakenly crossed your own moral line? Wow.
We always used to try to push that line further and further on the show. There was, maybe a couple of times for sure. I think it was some of the pranks, one in particular on my parents that I think offended my mother so deeply that because I didn't realize that she was as maybe, I'm not saying she's conservative, but I mean my mom's like, hip and gets it and stuff. But I had statues made of my parents fornicating.
Uh-huh.
And I put them well,
you could move them around.
Yeah, no, they were life size. They were on the front lawn, and this was right after the show was on MTV. And because my mother was so upset about it, I felt very badly afterwards because I just thought it was silly, but she took it more seriously than I had expected. So my mom
It did give people joy, though.
Yeah.
People laughed. It made me laugh just
so,
now.
and they were mad, and my father called MTV at the time. I'd been on the air for maybe a month at that point, and he said, if you air that clip, I'm going to sue you, MTV bleep, for $1 million, was on the answering machine at MTV.
Dr. Evil?
Yeah, he was upset. And then at the same time that happened, Oprah called. I'd been on the air for a month and wanted to book my mother and father and I on her Mother's Day special in Chicago. So my mother wasn't talking to me. I called my mom. I said, Mom, I know you're mad, but Oprah wants us on the Mother's Day special. She sort of was shell-shocked by that. We flew to Chicago. Oprah apologized to my parents, played a couple of the pranks, not that one, and then gave them an all-expenses-paid trip to Tahiti for 3 weeks.
Wow.
And then they signed the release form and then let me air the bit with the statues, too.
Wait, Oprah is why we saw that sketch?
Oprah is why we saw that sketch. Thank you, Oprah.
Ryan Clark gets 2 questions. If you were to replay Celebrity Big Brother, how would you approach it differently?
I tried too hard in the first head of household competition because I was trying to look like I didn't want to look like I was throwing the competition, but I didn't want to win the competition. But I guess I tried hard enough that Ryan Lochte saw that I was really, we were on swings, and he saw that I was really basically placed a close second.
An athletic threat.
That made me a target, and he put me on the block right away. So I think from that point on, everything kind of started to be a lot more difficult for me.
Brian Knox on Facebook's.
Yeah.
He asks,
the internets.
Any chance of you doing a sequel to Freddy Got Fingered? Can I pitch something?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, Freddy got fingered again.
Sounds like a plan. Let's do it. Well, maybe you could produce that.
I'll write it. No problem. I'll do it all. Any plans? I mean, it's a cult favorite.
There's been people have asked quite a bit about that online, and I would consider doing something like that. It's hard to. It's a tough pitch, It's a tough pitch to go back to 20th Century Fox and say, hey, you want to do that again?
Right.
I know we only won 5 Razzies the first time. Maybe we can double that, But
when you pitched it, did you have like a way of couching the idea of fingering? Were you like fingered, like he got pointed at, or did you just say, no, he got fingered?
So we had written a script. This show was on MTV, was doing well, and I was getting asked to be in movies, and my friend and I wrote this script because we wanted to write something kind of weirder than what was out there.
Right.
And so we originally sold the script to Disney, actually, to Touchstone Pictures, and then they kind of read the script after they. And said, we can't do this or 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 this, but we still like the movie, but we can't do this or this or this or this or this or this. And I said, well, we have to do this. And then they said, well, we're not gonna do this, but we'll put it in turnaround. And then 20th Century Fox bought the script a few weeks later, and we made it with New Regency Pictures, and Arnon Milchan, who is the head of New Regency, let me have my creative freedom. It was sort of an incredible, leap of faith.
At Rob Federa on Twitter asks, was placing a mouse in your mouth in Eurotrip the most disgusting thing you've ever done for comedy?
No, it was not the most disgusting thing. It was Road Trip was the movie, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
he even hashtagged it.
Yeah.
He got something trending. Wrong movie.
It was really, doing that movie was the first movie I'd been in. It was directed by Todd Phillips, who went on, did all these amazing things, the Hangover movies.
And now he's doing the Joker movie.
Yeah, doing the Joker movie, and he was, that was not in the script to put the mouse in my mouth.
Oh.
This was an improvised moment.
Yeah.
I had to feed a mouse to a snake, and I was holding the mouse, and it sort of just, I felt it just kind of grabbed my lip, and it kind of crawled in on its own.
Yeah.
And so I didn't put it in my mouth. It went in my mouth. And then I had to do it 30 more times for
coverage.
For coverage, yeah. So. But it was not the most, was the word he used grossest, or the, it was not.
He said most disgusting.
Yeah.
A little judgmental, Rob.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of disgusting things we did on the show, so it's hard to pick, really. My dad never liked when I would milk the cows. I would milk cows, and sometimes I would.
Didn't you sucked on the udder?
Yeah, a cow udder. So
a little cow. I remember that.
My dad didn't like that when I did that. So.
I wish we could cut to my face when I was 15, seeing that, just like.
Yeah. We would just try to.
I think that's why I'm a vegan.
Yeah.
You're why I'm a vegan.
I'm honored. Yeah.
We shouldn't be weirded by you sucking a cow's teat.
Yeah.
Why,
we
put it in a bucket first. It's not weird anymore.
This was the time, like this sort of. There was, there was a lot of gross out comedy happening already. I'd just seen Something About Mary, and that was sort of like a shocking sort of movie to me. Yeah. Some of the things they were doing in that movie. Harlan's in that 8-minute abs.
Yeah, 8-minute abs.
And so we were kind of doing real stuff with a video camera, and that was something we sort of think we'd try to do, some gross out stuff. But, I don't really do that anymore, gross out.
No, I know. Anymore. A lot of these questions are harking back to the early days of T Green.
Yeah. It's. I mean, I might talk about some things on stage that are potentially gross, maybe, but not so much. It's mostly that's mostly something I did in the past. I think you can't really repeat some of that stuff. When you're 28 years old and you're running around with a video camera and you're trying to kind of shock people, and you got to be a little, I think, naive. I think to the way. Even the way the world works and show business itself. Like when you're a kid, you're kind of thinking, I'm just gonna do this crazy thing and everyone's gonna love it. And, some people paid attention. Not sure everyone necessarily loved that part of the show.
Right.
So.
You know who did love it? Yeah. Oprah Winfrey. So.
Thank you, Oprah.
Never miss a beat. Subscribe to Larry King now and watch new episodes every day.